metanoia, which is move beyond. Repent is metanoia, which is move beyond the mind. Meta, beyond, nous, mind. Move beyond the mind. I know.
Oh.
Just that mistranslation.
They may prefer to look at Macbeth as a warning sign about ambition. But to those who feel the ambition inside of them and feel like it's not as simple as that, Nietzsche's insight may help you come to terms with what you're feeling. And I'll end by repeating that. End by repeating that part that was my absolute favorite. Once again, in the modernized language, quote, tragic poets don't take sides against life by highlighting its struggles. Instead, they celebrate the intensity and unpredictability of existence. Life is wild, dangerous, dark, yet often illuminated by moments of brilliance. It's an adventure, no matter which side you take or how you live it. It will always be thrilling and unpredictable.
Okay. Happy Sunday.
This is Philip K. Dick's book that I urged on you all, is he talks about the Logos as a creature of pure information and believes that it actually came, or suggests that it actually came to Earth at a certain moment in time, around the time of the death of Alexander, and that it was a creature of pure information which could actually form a symbiotic relationship with a human being by being known. In other words, here was something which when you found it out, it began to live inside of you. And he called this the homeoplasmate. The union of man and gnosis was the homeoplasmate. And of course suggested that Christ was one of these people, and suggested that that the Gnostics were not kidding.
I'm trying to, I guess, form associations, pathways in my brain maybe, between equivocation and, I guess, sympathetic magic. There's this idea of fake it till you make it. What do you think about that idea?
Work it, make it, do it, makes us.
And then there's this alchemy, where you you change yourself into something else.
It's never over.
Do you ever think about salvation? And if salvation changes you into something else, what does that make the Bible then? Like a book of magic. And so one of the witches says that Banquo is going to have a bunch of kings in his line. I'll find the quote. I'll find the text.
That Shakespeare's Measure for Measure is the greatest comedy written in the Western tradition. Now, I'll make the argument in aesthetic terms. In other words, this is my feeling about it. You need not adopt my feelings. But I'll try and make a good argument. First, that Shakespeare is hunting intellectual big game in Measure for Measure. He is actually trying to recapitulate the entire Bible in the form of a comedy, which is an amazing intellectual achievement, and also it marks an apogee of intellectual aspiration and ambition. Even if he doesn't completely pull this off, the idea of reducing the entirety of the Bible, and more importantly, the entirety of the Christian view of history to
At the next light, turn left.
one narrative, taking the form, the allegorical form of a comedy, if he would pull that off, and if I were able to make that argument, I believe that we would be faced with the greatest of Shakespeare's comedies, and I think it would be proper to argue that Shakespeare's comic achievements are at least at the level of his tragic achievements. It is often the case that we pay more philosophical attention to tragedy. Tragedy gets all the good ink spilled over it. We only have our
Love and marriage, it's an institute you can't disparage.
Hey, happy Sunday. It seems like Pericles and Measure for Measure are probably my favorite that we've gone over in this class. And it seems that way because Hamlet was really good too. These analysis that I read in leading up to reading the plays, they talk about the characters not as like people, but as these big historical archons, these big energy movements through history, and trying to wrap my head around that has been a whole lot of fun. And Shakespeare's a pretty smart guy. Happy Sunday.
Try and you will only come to this conclusion: love and marriage.
Well, I think once you have humanoid robots and deep intelligence, you basically have quasi-infinite products and services available. So with Tesla building the most advanced humanoid robot, then those humanoid robots can be directed by
Yeah, I just thought it's worth clarifying attitudes to magic in the period, that there was a very strong sense that there was such a thing as black magic, which is like witches being in league with the devil. But there was also this idea of white magic, of the magician harnessing the forces of nature to good effect, for good purpose. Prospero sees himself as a white magician, and Sycorax, Caliban's mother, as the black magician. But one of the things the play does, and this in a way makes it like Montaigne's essays, which are constantly asking questions about the opposites of custom at the time. One of the things the play does is say, well, is Prospero's white magic so very different from Sycorax axis black. Maybe, in some sense, they're the same kind of magic.